King Arthur by Delaney. Though it is not clear whether or not King Arthur really existed, many facts are present considering the fact that he might actually exist. King Arthur was the son of King Uther Pendragon and Aragorn of Cornwall. Merlin the magician helped King Arthur by setting up a sword for him to pull out so that he would become king. And it read, "Whoso pulleth out this sword of the stone is right wise King of England." And so he did pull it out, and he did become King of England. People do argue about whether or not King Arthur was a real person. There was a poet who had mentioned that there was a soldier as good as Arthur, and though it could have been any Arthur, it might not be. There have also been castles with words on them reading, "Charioteer of dear Arth," which can translate into Fort of Arthur. When asking the question, who is King Arthur, well, that's almost a mystery, considering we don't even know if King Arthur existed. But when it comes down to Riothemus, Lucius Artorius, Castus Ambrosius Arlanius, it's hard to tell. You see, Riothemus, or Rigatorus, was nicknamed Overking, and he was a soldier. And the time period that he lived in almost perfectly aligns with the dates of King Arthur. It is said that he went to France with an army 12,000 strong, but he assisted the Romans alongside with the Franks and the Burgundians, which is nearly impossible. See, Riothemus' enemy were the Visigoths, or the Goths, but King Arthur's were the Romans, so King Arthur would never fight alongside the Romans. Then there is Lucius Artorius. Lucius has almost an identical military background to King Arthur, and he shares the same nickname, Dux Arth, with King Arthur, a nickname given to him by a few nobles. Yet another scholar, who lived miles away from the nobles, said after meeting Lucius that he called him his dear friend Dux Arth. Also, Lucius's father, Marcus Arturus, has a name that can be translated into the Biothamonic name Uther Pendragon, the same as King Arthur's father. Lastly, Castus Ambrosius Arlanius has a harsh background that gave him many enemies that King Arthur had defeated, though there is no other evidence pointing to him that he is King Arthur. So I believe from the evidence I have found that Lucius Artorius is in fact King Arthur. The time period King Arthur lived in was the 6th to 5th century AD. He lived in Camelot, England, and fought in many battles against many enemies such as the Saxons, Romans, and Picts. And he fought in many battles such as Camlan and Mountbatten. And probably the most famous person who wrote about King Arthur would have to be Thomas More in Morte de Arthur in 1485. King Arthur did many things in his life. Not only did he rule Camelot, but there are many stories built around him, such as the Round Table, Merlin, and the Holy Grail. King Arthur married the beautiful Guinevere, and his Round Table did many dangerous deeds, such as hunting curious beasts and saving damsels in distress. He built sturdy castles and got his sword Excalibur from the Lady in the Lake. I believe that through my research that King Arthur really does exist. There are many archaeological findings that say so, and I believe that Lucius Arturus was in fact King Arthur.